Hi, Assalamualaikum. We are from group number 4. In this video, we are going to discuss on Fatwa of Pharmaceutical and Cosmetics. Let's get started. Here are the list of the Fatwa that will be in our discussion. The first one is vaccine, second injection, third capsule and pills, fourth cosmetic ingredient, fifth cosmetic surgery, and lastly tabarruj issues.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I am Siti Nur Anna binti Muhammad Noor. I will start with introduction for our topics. Okay, halal has become an important issue for Muslims in their daily life. Halal goods include a wide range of products, including pharmaceuticals. Many new firms are joining the pharmaceutical industry to grab the opportunity and remain competitive in the market. Even global corporations are diversifying their products. Okay, the demand exists in the form of whether a product is halal or permitted in Islam from the view of Muslim consumers. Therefore, a few issues concerning pharmaceuticals and cosmetics based on the fatwa issued by Malaysia and other organizations.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fatina Dira binti Anwar, and today inshallah I will start our presentation by explaining the legal ruling of vaccination. Okay, so before we learn deeper about the legal ruling of vaccination, let us understand first what is the meaning of the vaccines. Okay, so vaccine is actually a type of medicine that trains your body's immune system so that it can fight a disease which it hasn't come into contact before. So vaccine is actually it's like a preparation that is used to stimulate the body's immune response against disease that may be extremely severe or even can cause death. Okay, so vaccine is actually a part of medicine as well. However, not everyone is willingly to accept the vaccination or to take the vaccination due to the ingredients that may contain in the vaccine itself. Okay, for example, it can be najis or any haram elements such as alcohol, drugs, or pig and cow product, or any animal that are not slaughtered according to the Sharia law. Okay, as we all know, currently worldwide country is battling with the pandemic of COVID-19, and most of the countries, they are all pushing their people to take for the vaccination of COVID-19. But the question here is the vaccine of COVID-19 is actually permitted for the Muslim since the ingredients of the vaccine may contain haram element. Okay, so actually, on December 3 last year, the Fatwa Committee of the National Council for Islamic Religious Affairs, they held Muzakarah. Okay, Muzakarah is a discussion where they conclude that the use of COVID-19 vaccination is actually permitted and mandatory for the government identified group. Okay, and we can see that the decision was actually inclined with what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran in the Surah Al-Baqarah verse 195, which Allah said, "Spend in the cause of Allah and do not let your own hand throw you into destruction by withholding, and do good, for Allah certainly love the good doers." Okay, so we can relate the verse of the Quran with the current situation where if we refuse to take medication or if we refuse to take the vaccination, we will be imposed into various of illnesses. Okay, so that's why Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala ordered us to seek for solution. Okay, to seek for solution, like in this current situation, we can seek for the solution, and the solution may be in taking of vaccination. Okay, as in we want to avoid ourselves from coming near to the disruption intentionally. And actually, the decision decided by the Muzakarah is actually can be related to one of the legal medicine that can be connected with the legal ruling of vaccination, which is ad-darura tubihu al-mazura. Okay, so ad-darura tubihu al-mazura means that when one's life is in risk, he may do what is normally prohibited in order to preserve his or her life. Okay, so when there is no halal vaccination is yet to be available, or when there is no halal vaccination is available, like in this current situation, then we need to protect our life by taking any solution that can preserve our life. Okay, so means that we need to protect our life by taking the haram vaccine, as in to protect ourselves from dangerous. And even the Federal Territories Mufti Dato Dr. Luqman Abdullah said that he will constantly support the Malaysia's national vaccination program, as he said that the fatwa was actually decided after going through multiple discussion and various meeting process with the people that expert in the field of the vaccination. Alright, so to conclude everything, according to the jurists, any disease should be prevented, should be treated, and should be medicated. And even in the context of the prevention, any form of outbreak that could harm our life, we need to seek for solution in order we want to preserve our life. Hence, to take the vaccination of COVID-19, it's a must as stipulated by the consensus of jurists. Okay, so let's move on into our second discussion, which is rotavirus vaccine. So as we are all well informed, before the COVID-19 pandemic hits worldwide country right now, rotavirus actually was also one of the diseases that start their outbreak in few countries. But somehow the vaccines of rotavirus was rejected by some of the Muslims due to the ingredient that contain haram element in the vaccine itself. So what is the actual legal ruling of the vaccine rotavirus? Is it halal or is it haram for us Muslim to take it? Okay, so Fatwa Committee of Majlis Ugama Islam Singapura (MUIS) state that the rotavirus vaccine is currently the only best measure available in managing the virus. Okay, so speaking about the ingredients of the vaccine, yes, it's actually contain haram element, which we call it as trypsin enzyme. So the trypsin enzyme actually come from porcine pancreas, which is included in one of the production phases in the making of the rotavirus vaccine. Okay, so the use of trypsin solution is currently the safest alternative for optimizing the efficiency of the vaccine production. And even MUIS also state that the HSA is actually the Ministry of Health in Singapore. Okay, so the HSA told MUIS that at the end of the vaccines product, they did not found any porcine enzyme in the trypsin solution due to the various processes involved in the making of the vaccines of rotavirus. Okay, which then caused the porcine enzyme to be absent at the finished product of the vaccines of rotavirus. Okay, so what is the actual ruling of the rotavirus vaccine? Can we take it or not? Okay, before that, we need to understand first, the vaccination is actually a method of protecting oneself from virus and illness infection. And in fact, vaccine can be used to protect a person from being infected with certain illnesses. And even in Islam, taking earlier preventative action is actually highly emphasized. This is in line with what the Prophet Muhammad SAW have said, which he said that whoever takes 7 ajwa dates in the morning will not be affected by magic or poison on that day. So we understand that we can relate this hadith with the current situation where we can take the vaccination as in earlier preventative action in order to protect ourselves from getting or from being infected with certain illnesses. And to conclude, the Fatwa Committee of the Majlis Ugama Islam Singapura MUIS conclude that the rotavirus vaccine is actually halal and pure and can be accepted by the Muslim because the impure element, which is the haram element trypsin solution, as I have mentioned before, have been removed from the final product of the vaccines of the rotavirus.
Now I will continue with one of the subtopic, which is injection. The issue is vampire injection, platelet-rich plasma (PRP) injection. Okay, according to Alan Francis from Homage, injection is a procedure for injecting a sterile liquid type of medication into human tissues deep within the skin with the help of a pointed hollow needle or tube. PRP is also called as a vampire facial. PRP treatment use plasma, a liquid pipe, was taken from our blood to stimulate collagen production, which helps reduce fine lines, folds, wrinkles, open pores, and pigmentation, as well as improve the overall health of the skin. The result of the PRP treatment of the face are natural looking and subtle, and they can last for at least 2 years, but it can take a few weeks to start seeing changes. There is fatwa was issued by National Fatwa Council about the vampire injection on 30 of August 2016. Based on the hadith, Rasulullah has said, Allah has cursed those women who practice tattooing and those who get it done for themselves, and those who remove hair from their faces, and those who artificially create spaces between their teeth to look beautiful. Such women has altered the features created by Allah. Sahih Al-Bukhari 5948 and Sahih Muslim 2125. Beauty treatment from an Islamic perspective, which is transforming Allah's creation for the sake of beauty or others, is a sin, whether it is done through injection or operation. However, it is acceptable if the objective is for medical treatment because of an accident or fall. Reconstruction surgery is an acceptable method for restoring injured organs or abnormalities to their natural state in humans. The magazine suitable for this issue is Darurah Tabihul Mahzurat. Necessities render the prohibited permissible. Okay, darurah in this context are special circumstances that oblige a person to undertake certain prohibited actions to preserve our life. Blood is categorized as najis in Sharia, which means it is prohibited to be consumed. However, if a person's life is threatened and in need of operation, it becomes lawful to undergo the blood transfusion. There are several conditions need to be followed to apply this magazine, and one of them is no lawful alternative should be available to avoid the prohibited action. Three scholars have given their opinions regarding this issue, who are Imam Al-Nawawi, Imam Izzuddin bin Abdul Salam rahimahullah, and ISH650. They agreed if there is no pure medication available, a person is allowed to drink blood or urine or any other liquid that is categorized as najis, yet it must not be an intoxicant to human's health. But ISH650 added extra condition that it is only permissible if an expert and trusted Muslim doctor advise the patient to use najis as a medication. Okay, based on those three scholars, we can see that all of them have like the opinions, whereas a person is eligible to use najis for medication if there is no pure treatment available. In conclusion, National Fatwa Council has decided that blood cannot be used for any kind of medication because it is deemed as najis. However, it is permissible in exigent situations or when there is a need for it where nothing pure is available to replace it. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aisyah Masjad. I'm going to talk about fatwa on pills and drugs and also capsule. So fatwa on pills and drugs first. Generally, all medicine is risky when used. However, according to scientific evaluations, the risk will outweigh the benefit obtained from the health aspect. Abuse of the medicine arises when the medicine is used for purposes other than treatment. That is where the need of fatwa is pivotal in order to regulate human behaviors. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that every disease has its antidote. Based on the hadith, every illness has a cure, and when the proper cure is applied to the disease, it ends it by the permission of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Hadith narrated by Muslim. The legal maxim that deems suitable with this issue is as follows. The use of drugs is permitted based on the following fiqh principles. When there is a conflict between two things that can cause damage, the greatest damage has to be taken into account by committing the less damage. As for arguments of scholars on this fatwa, some scholars agree that the hukum of drug is the same with that of liquor, which is forbidden to be used. However, the National Council of Islamic Affairs Malaysia on the drug problem decided the following. Any misuse, including the abuse of drugs, according to Sharia is forbidden, and drugs can only be used for medical purposes approved by the Sharia. As for the conclusion, any usage of natural and synthetic drugs in medicine is permissible for Muslims' consumption. However, extended research and development needed to be taken place by people of experts. Any abuse of drugs for personal gain and use is extremely prohibited as it can cause harm to human beings. Next, the fatwa on capsule. In pharmacy, capsule is a solid dosage form in which the drug is enclosed in a hard or soft soluble container, usually of a form of gelatin. And the main reason to why gelatins are mostly used in making of capsule are it has been stated that gelatin does not collapse at extreme temperature, it does not have cholesterol, preservative, Arabic gum or locust gum that consists of carbohydrate. The divine evidence. The use of medicine mixed with najis besides alcohol is permissible during emergency situation. Based on Surah Al-An'am, verse 119, He has explained to you in detail what is forbidden to you except under compulsion of necessity. Translated by Yusuf Ali. The legal maxim that deems suitable with this issue is as follows: Ad-darurat tabih mahzurat. Necessities knows no laws. And the arguments of fatwa is as below. The National Fatwa Committee discussed the issue of gelatin and medicines and decided as following. The use of gelatin and medicine currently is permissible because of emergency. If there is any halal element which can replace the use of gelatin, then it's forbidden to use gelatin in the medicine. As a conclusion, after analysing the divine evidence, legal maxim and arguments of fatwa, we can conclude that any usage of gelatin made from non-halal elements is permissible for Muslim in Malaysia. However, if there is any other halal option, Muslims are urged to consume the halal product.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amal Adriana binti Ahmed, and I will continue with cosmetic ingredient. Firstly, I will introduce briefly what is halal cosmetic. Halal cosmetic are goods that are made with halal components and also created according to the halal standard. They are designed to be used to certain portion of the body, either as a leave-on, also as a wash, for the purpose of grooming, washing, preserving, and altering the functioning of the skin, water, oil, surfactants, polymer, organic solvents, colorants, protein, vitamin, plant extracts, preservative, and antioxidants are just a few of the substances used in cosmetic. Ingredients originating from pigs, dead animals, blood, human organs, predatory animal, amphibians, and insects, and some others are prohibited in halal cosmetic. To be deemed as halal, cosmetic materials originating from permitted animal must be slain according to Islamic law. Next, we will continue with the using of snail in beauty products. Snail mucus or snail discharge extract is used to make snail beauty products. Since snail beauty products are typically employed in skincare routines and also applied directly to the skin, only edible, which is non-poisonous but not for sharak consumptions, snail are often used. The Roman snail, a popular ingredient in escargot, and its near relative, the Guardia snail, are all commonly eaten snail species used in beauty treatment. Snail were classified as dirty animal, which is kaba'is, by the idea of uruf, which is custom, and eating them was forbidden. The reason for this is that society views it as a dirty and unclean animal. As a result, it is forbidden under the idea of uruf, which classify it as a kaba'is. This is in conformity with Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala statement, which is according to Surah Al-Araf, verse 157, makes lawful for them the good things and prohibit for them the evil. The same may be said for everything that is detrimental or regarded unclean by individual in the community, even if some of them embrace it. Due to their classification as kaba'is, Allah forbids terrestrial animal which do not have circulating blood, such as snail, filthy animal. Next, snails are not deemed najis according to the original judgment, which is impure. The reason for this is because there is not solid and sahih indication that it is forbidden. As a result, the decision to use snails in the creation of cosmetic is permitted, as there are numerous advantages of using snail in beauty product. There is no clear evidence in Al-Quran and also As-Sunnah that using snail in beauty product are considered as haram or also considered as permitted or prohibited. The fuqaha have multiple viewpoints on the purity of animals which do not have circulating blood. This species of animal is considered pure by Mazhab Hanafi and also Maliki jurists. However, Mazhab Shafi'i argue that it is considered as najis, which is impure. Animals who do not have circulating blood that originate from a pure source are pure. But if it originates from an unclean origin, such as roaches, they are deemed as najis, whether living or dead, according to Mazhab Hanbali jurists. Snails are regarded pure, not najis, despite the fact that eating them is forbidden. As a result, using snail for medical but still cannot be eaten by Muslim or for cosmetic reason is not forbidden. The usage of snail in the production of beauty product or cosmetic is considered as permissible according to the Islamic legal maxim that states, a ruling depends on the existence or non-existence of the ilah of the ruling. Since there is no strong support from the Quran and also Al-Hadith, the use of snail-based The use of snail-based cosmetic goes under Islamic jurisprudence. Since it is covered by tahsiniyat, it is acceptable to use cosmetic made from snail as long as they do not cause harm to human body. Snail used in cosmetic is classified as al-maskut anhu, item whose law are not clearly stated by the Quran and also by as-Sunnah. As a result, as long as it will not cause harm, it is mubah or acceptable. The reason behind this is that everything Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala has provided on this planet should be for the betterment of citizens, as far as there is no contradictory evidence.
Cosmetic surgery is an area of medicine dedicated to improving a person's aesthetic look by surgical and medicinal procedures, applied to all areas of the body in the absence of illnesses or deformities. A dimple is a little natural indentation in the skin on a human body part, most commonly the face or chin. When a person makes a facial motion, such as smiling, cheek dimples appear. According to the Mufti, the ruling of DIMPLEPLASTY through piercing or surgery is haram. Dimples formed only for the goal of beautifying are forbidden because they are an alteration in Allah's creation, which obviously does not need it. Cosmetic surgery, as well as any other practice that alters a person's physical appearance without a compelling reason, was originally forbidden by Shara. As mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad SAW, لَعَنَ اللَّهُ الْوَاشِمَاتِ وَالْمُسْتَوْشِمَاتِ وَالنَّامِصَاتِ وَالْمُتَنَمِّصَاتِ وَالْمُتَفَلِّجَاتِ لِلْحُسْنِ الْمُغَيِّرَاتِ قَلْقَةً, which means Allah had cursed those women who tattooed and who have themselves tattooed, those who pluck hair from their faces, and those who make spaces between their teeth for beautification, changing what God has created. Sahih Muslim 2125. People who make space between the teeth for beautification, say Imam al-Nawawi, implies that the prohibition only applies when it is done for aesthetic purposes, while it is not an issue if a person has to do so to cure any bodily condition or due to eye on his teeth. Allah is the all-knowing. The related legal maxim is composed of al-umur bima qasidiha, which means matters are determined according to their intentions. This can be related in regard to undergoing of cosmetic surgery or other procedure. It is either the person intended it for beautification only or to cure its health. The ruling would be different based on the intention. According to research, cheek dimples are thought to be a very desirable muscular disability in face attractiveness. Unfortunately, not everyone is blessed with dimples. As a result, some people may go to considerable lengths to undergo a painful operation known as DIMPLEPLASTY. Injury to the buccal branch of the facial nerve is one of the risks of DIMPLEPLASTY. However, it is exceedingly rare. Even yet, the operation is still subject to unknown risks and comes with no guarantees. The ruling on cosmetic surgery differs based on the individual's intention. It is permissible for the aim of curing but not for the goal of beautification. Dimple surgery, on the other hand, is specifically haram since it alters Allah's creation, poses a danger of harm, and is unnecessary. Furthermore, everyone should be appreciative for Allah's creation and recognize their own distinct beauty. In general, tabarruj refers to a woman's lavish style of clothes or attitude when she comes out of her house, showcasing the beauty of her face and physique to attract others' attention. This incorporates wearing makeup in public or anything else that makes a man desire after her. Woman's nature is adornment and beauty, and they are originally accepted and have a base in Shara. Nevertheless, they must not go beyond what Shara expressly prohibits in terms of female adornment. According to the Mufti, it is permitted for women to use lipstick and other cosmetic. To elaborate, it is permitted if a woman wears a neutral lipstick or cosmetics such as powders and others, not excessively without the purpose of tabarruj, as long as it does not cause fitna or draw the attention of males. When it comes to tabarruj, a woman should remember and pay attention to the fact that she should avoid it. Al-tabarruj is to show off and showcase its adornment and beauty for the eyes to be viewed by others, according to Imam al-Shawkani. For makeup, as the general word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَّا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا, which means it is He who created for you all of that which is on the earth. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 29. This verse indicates that it is permissible for a woman to wear makeup in general. Nonetheless, women should only adorn for their husband and those that are approved by Sharia. Other than their husband and some of the human beings, specified in verse 31 of Surah An-Nur, she should not flaunt her beauty. The Quran has set the boundaries of the Sharia, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, except to their husbands, fathers, husbands' fathers, sons, husbands' sons, brothers, brothers' sons, sisters' sons, women, that which their right hands possess, i.e. slaves, or those male attendants having no physical desire, or children who are not yet aware of the private aspects of women. Surah Al-Nur, verse 31. About this hadith, Islam places an emphasis on personal care, beauty, and hygiene, as narrated by Ibn Mas'ud, which the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, Inna Allaha jamilun yuhibbul jamal, which means Allah is beautiful, He loves beauty. Sahih Muslim 91. For the issue of tabaruj, word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَقَرْنَا فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ وَلَا تَبَارُجْنَا تَبَارُجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى, which means, and abide in your houses, and do not display yourselves, and as was the display of the former times of ignorance, and establish prayer, and give zakah, and obey Allah and His Messenger. And Allah intends only to remove from you the impurity of sin, O people of the Prophet's household, and to purify you with extensive purification. Surah Al-Ahzab, verse 33. This indicates that for the issue of tabaruj, every woman should avoid, since Imam al-Shawkani stated earlier that al-tabaruj refers to show off and display its adornment for the eyes to see and enjoy it. The related legal maxim for this issue is the original basic for everything is permitted, unless there is an indication that shows the forbidden state of it, since in general the fundamental clothing and adornment ruling is acceptable to wear or place on a person's body, clothes, or location. The ruling, however, is valid, halal, and permissible as long as no particular evidence supports it as an exception to the general rule. See Al-Fiqh Al-Manhaji. This shows that wearing of the makeup is allowed for women without transgressing Islamic law, for example, wearing excessively and for the intention of tabar. For the arguments of the Fatwa, according to Sheikh Al-Maraghi in his book, it is unlawful for women to exhibit their adornment and beauty for the advantage of other men, as women did before Islam. Similarly, when commenting on the preceding verse, Imam al-Shawkani remarked that al-tabaruj occurs when a woman displays her adornment or beauty, which is wajib to be covered off in order to avoid attracting the attention of males. Excessive adornment for a woman is permissible solely on her husband, according to the Fuqaha's views in the divisions of law about tabaruj as detailed in Al-Mawsu'ah, Al-Fiqhiyah, Al-Kuwaitiyah. The practice of tabarruj is a Jahiliyah woman's custom. As a result, it is said that women who wear excessive makeup, which draws the attention of ajnabi males and leads to fitnah, are doing the same. This against Islamic teaching. It is permitted to wear neutral lipstick or cosmetic to appear respectable, rather than to attract other ajnabi guys. It is essential for women to take care and respect herself in terms of beautification, as well as having the right purpose for which she is doing so. It must not go against the Islamic teaching. It is permitted for women to adorn themselves in order to fulfill their natural desires. Every woman wishes to be attractive. Islam does not condemn this natural urge, but it does teach how to use it properly. Islam directs her natural desire in the appropriate direction, which is towards her husband as her single life partner, who is permitted to gaze at portions of her body that are forbidden to be viewed by others, as stated by Said Qutb.
So lastly, it can be concluded that everything that is needed to be used by Muslim people need to be deemed as permissible first before it can be used by Muslim. The concept of developing halal cosmetic and also pharmaceutical entails carefully obtaining halal component, following halal standard throughout the production process, and also verifying that quality of product adheres to the Islamic traditions. Halal cosmetic and pharmaceuticals surpass faiths because they involve extensive scientific research to develop a solution that is both safe and pure to the Muslim society needs.